Hi everyone, I'm Ryan from SUMIT Tactical Solutions, and I'm here to do a video on some of the different loadouts that you might be using if you're playing some gel soft. And we're just going to cover off on some budget options, some mid-tier and then some high-tier different setups depending on what you want to roll with. Okay, so first we're going to cover off on face and eye protection just as a starting point. So first we're going to look at pretty much the rolling standard for gel ball is going to be your safety glasses. You can pick these up pretty much anywhere as long as they're AS 1337 compliant. So if you're not sure what that is, just type in AS 1337 to Google. It actually tell you what the requirements are for safety glasses to meet. So this is going to be pretty much the gold standard of what you're going to see most people playing with depending on their loadout. Obviously we recommend at a minimum this, and every field that you play it's probably going to have that exact requirement as well. So obviously glasses go on, they're going to protect the front of your eyes, and also you'll find that AS 1337 compliancy has slide protection as well, so you stop gels coming up from the side and hitting in the side of the face or in the side of the eye. So that's a minimum standard there. And these are going to range anywhere from sort of $20 up to hundreds of dollars depending on the brand and the level of safety and ballistic capability that they offer. So just shop around. If you work on a budget, places like Bunnings, you're going to be able to get AS 1337 compliant glasses like this, and obviously as you work your way up, that level of protection is going to go up with it. If you are wearing something like that and you still want to have some type of face protection, you can look at getting these sort of face masks. So this one just slips over your face. You put your glasses on, which are going to sit in front of the nose piece here, and you're going to get that cheek protection on those on both sides of your face. You're going to get some protection from the front if a gel was to hit you. Now yes, this is mesh, so if a gel hits that, it's probably going to disintegrate, and then there's going to be some element of that gel that's going to come through, but it is going to remove the velocity of it, so it's not going to hurt when it hits your face. My advice would be getting even a slight modification to this with a bit of material in there so that it stops all the gel coming through. So again, with those two put together, you're going to get pretty good face protection and to the side of the face and the cheeks as well. So these aren't too expensive either. Again, if you shop around, you're going to find some that are capable of withstanding things like paintball and airsoft. So again, the more you pay, the more protection you're going to get from it, and they're going to range in price, so do shop around. The next step up from there is going to be something like this, like a dye mask or a paintball mask. In this case, this is a dye mask here, so you can see we've got full protection right around the face. We've also got the mouth protection and just under the chin. So if I had that on, I'm going to be protected all the way around my head. These are fantastic because it obviously comes up right above the forehead as well, so it's going to prevent any of those direct hits. This is probably the highest level of protection you're going to get. And again, these masks are going to range in price just like everything else. Your lower tier is going to have a certain amount of protection and be made from a certain type of plastic. As you work your way up, they're going to be more ballistic capable, so you're going to get things that are going to be able to absorb paintballs and airsoft as well. So again, that's probably your gold standard in terms of protection. The better the brand, the more you're going to get like fog resistance as well, which is important when you're playing. It's a big complaint of these sort of cheaper masks, not this one specifically, but the cheaper style paintball mask is it fogs really easily. So when you start working your way up in the brands and the price, you start getting that protection, and also stops the fog. Another thing that we can do is, now that we've covered off on these, if we still work on a bit of a budget, maybe we can't afford the mask, we're not keen on wearing a full face cover like that. We want something that's a bit more protection than say something like this, but we don't want to spend that kind of money, or we're not happy with the way that looks, which is fine. Cosmetics are important. We can start looking at some other cheap alternatives as well. So these are about the same price, so you can kind of go one way or the other. This is a schmag, so these just a huge amount of material that are cut into a gigantic square. You can pull them off and wear them as a scarf, as a wraparound. If you get really clever and creative with these, you can have them come right up over your face and just have your eyes showing. It's quite thick, so a gel hitting that's going to have that impact reduced. These are quite warm, however, so if you are going to wear them indoor at a field like Rapid Vantage, just keep that in mind, that you are probably going to sweat a bit more, but again, it's going to give you that full face protection as opposed to something like that. And then the last alternative are these sort of these neck warmers or face shields. They're just a thin piece of elastic material. You put these right over your head, and personally this is what I use. I wear a helmet, I put this underneath, and this has just got a bit of wicking ability, so you are still going to sweat with this. It is going to do its best to wick that sweat away. And again, that's just that material that's going to reduce that gel hitting directly onto your skin. And I find that they're quite breathable. You can breathe straight through the material, and they're going to come in all different flavors. So you know, you got your multicam, there's an ATEX FG one or black. You can get them with all sorts of prints and stuff on there. So that sort of covers off on your face protection and working your way up through your budget depending on how much money you're willing to spend and what you're looking for. So now we're going to move on to helmets and head protection, or cover protection, depending on what you want to call it. So we've got an array of different setups that we can go with here, and again, just working up from sort of budget up to your top end or your top tier. So first and foremost, you're going to have just your cap. Again, it's minimal protection, but it is going to stop the impact of those gels hitting the top of your head if you are going to get shot front on. But just keep in mind, obviously, it's only minimal protection. From there as well, if you're running any kind of communications, you can get ear protection like so. These ones have the ability to have microphones that are directional, so that it only lets you hear directionally what's going on if people are talking around you. These are designed for actual shooting, but they do have the ability to plug into comms. So if you are looking to go that route with a minimal setup for communications, you can wear those, you know, over a hat or even under a helmet, depending on what option you go with. Next, we move up to bump helmets. So personally, I wear a bump helmet. I know most of the players that have played here at Rapid Vantage use bump helmets as well. It's sort of the bread and butter, especially when you're doing CQB work. The idea of a bump helmet is to protect your head as you're manoeuvring around places like that. In Australia, we can't have ballistic helmets for civilian use, so all of these are going to be non-ballistic. So starting on a budget end, this is just a plain black bump helmet. It's got just the 3.0 rail system, so that's this style here, like a Gatini rail, some people might call that. You got a bit of sticky stuff on the top there, so if you want to put your patches and things like that on, and helmet covers, you can do that. They're pretty basic. They're lightweight, they're just made of plastic, and you can mount not only NVG mounts on here, but also GoPro mounts. So if you're looking to do some filming at the field and get some really cool footage, GoPro do make an NVG specific attachment that goes on to bump helmets. With these cheaper ones, you can't actually remove these rail systems, so just keep that in mind, depending on what system you want to use. So just something to think about. And again, just another style, that's a full face setup. It looks pretty out there, but again, it's got the same sort of principle. It's got rails, it's got the NVG mount as per usual. So if you want to be a little bit out there and go with that, feel free. If you don't have a full face version, remember you can still buy these and get that cheap protection in front of your face and still wear the helmet. And some helmets also come with this in a plastic style, like the helmet that just clips on over the front, so something to keep in mind. Then we move up to the sort of more traditional bump helmet that you'll see around, which is going to be this sort of tan style ones. You're working your way up the brands from your sort of Chinese knockoffs of your Ops Core helmets, your Crye Precision, your Team Wendy's. These are all the same style, just the materials are going to be cheaper, and obviously this stuff isn't made in those places, so you know, Chinese as opposed to, you know, European or American. So again, this is just the next step up in terms of bump helmet. So you can see here, we've got an NVG mount on there, so we can attach NVG on the front. That's what that style looks like. We've also got the ear probe built into the helmet with this setup that we've got here. So this is just a rail attachment that you slide through the rail. It sits in position and it holds the ear protection in place. So you can run this style of ear protection. You put that over your head and then it sits inside the helmet, and there's actually a cutout so that you can see it sticks out, and you can have the ear pro running underneath if you want to go that route. I personally prefer to have it built in. It just sits nicer, it looks better, it just makes more sense. So that's the style that's on here. This one's got a it's got a counterweight system at the back, so this pouch is designed to hold batteries and a counterweight if you are running NVG. NVG is obviously going to make the helmet top heavy, so that counterweight allows it to sit on your head and stops you getting hot spots. So yeah, again, we've just got the material there so that we can attach patches and things like that, or helmet cover, and you can set that up however you like. And again, just the next step up from that is going to be a very similar style. Again, with the ear protection, you can move out of the way, counterweight on the back, and a different style NVG mount. And also, again, you're going to have that GoPro mount. This has got a helmet cover on it, just the material that you plonk on top. So if you are going for a specific loadout style, like multicam, you can get the helmet like that, put the multicam helmet cover on, and then you can run with that setup as well. So just some different options out there depending on what you want to run with, whatever's going to be, you know, suitable for your play style. So you can go quite minimal, or you can go right up there, and obviously these are going to have a good amount of protection on your head if you're getting shot by a gel, so something to keep in mind.